Friendship is great. Even an introvert like me can admit that's pretty cool, especially when everyone seems so angry at each other. Having someone who will always have your back, despite no familial connections, is always a nice thing to have. So here I am to explain one of my favorite Pokemon mechanics. One that has been in the game since Gen 2. Okay, technically it was introduced in Pokemon Yellow, but more on that later. That mechanic is friendship. Or happiness depending on who you ask. With all of the time that friendship has been a mechanic, it's been through a lot of changes. In some games you can practically ignore it, while in other games it can quite literally break the difficulty. Because of that, it can be a lot to keep track of. So if you want to know when certain mechanics were added, then this is the friendship guide for you. Let's learn about the best mechanic in Pokemon. We actually start in Pokemon Yellow surprisingly, though friendship is pretty basic here, and wouldn't be a fully fledged mechanic until Gold and Silver. In Pokemon Yellow, only the partner Pikachu has a friendship stat, and it doesn't do anything aside from Pikachu interactions, though the groundwork for future friendship mechanics would be set here. For starters, a friendship value can be between 0 and 255. The starter Pikachu begins with base 90 friendship, but this value would change for future starters. Once again, friendship honestly doesn't do much in Yellow. Your only incentive for raising Pikachu's friendship is the gift Bulbasaur, but like I said, the groundwork for friendship would be set here. Pikachu starts with base 90 friendship, but you can lower or increase this value throughout your journey, and the methods that cause these to happen stay relatively consistent. So let's list those methods out now. The most passive methods include level up, defeating a gym leader, walking a certain amount of steps, and using certain items. Because of these, Pikachu's friendship will always be increasing. Other methods for Pikachu include using medicine, teaching a TM or HM, or using a battle item. Some of these methods stay for future games, some are altered, and others are no longer viable methods. Another thing is that these methods have diminishing returns. For example, level up gives 5 points at less than 100 friendship, 3 points between 100 and 200 friendship, and 2 points when Pikachu has over 200 friendship. And some methods like TM, HM just stop working after a while. While that's all great for increasing friendship, remember that Pikachu can have as low as 0 friendship. So how does that happen? If Pikachu faints, is put in the storage, or is traded away, they'll lose friendship. And unlike increasing friendship, it actually becomes easier to lose points the more Pikachu likes you, punishing you for mistakes. And with that, we finished up with Pokemon Yellow. Honestly, I only talked about it for this long because, like I mentioned, it sets the ground for friendship mechanics. Speaking of which, let's head off to a game with proper friendship mechanics. We head to Gold, Silver, Crystal. Some friendship increasing methods have stayed from Yellow, such as level up, gym leaders, walking, TMs, and battle items. But medicine has been replaced by vitamins, so full heals no longer cut it. But GSC introduced a new friendship increasing method, haircuts and grooming. In Goldenrod, you can pay for a daily Pokemon haircut. There's different skills that give different points. There's also Daisy Oak and Powtown who's more consistent. Now we get to methods of losing friendship. The only method that stayed from Yellow is fainting. A misconception is that Pokemon lose friendship when deposited, which was true in Yellow but is no longer the case. As for trading Pokemon, their friendship will reset to their base level when traded, but from Gen 6 onwards, the friendship they had with their OT will be saved when traded back, so depositing and trading won't lower friendship. But GSC did still add a new method to lower friendship. In GSC, the herbal items are introduced, cheaper healing items than potions and revives, but are bitter and will decrease friendship when used. And now before we get onto what friendship does for you in GSC, there's one more thing that'll be relevant for the future games. Even if 2 games have the same friendship changing mechanics, the amount they change or how they happen may differ. The prime example is walking. In Yellow, every 255 steps is a 50% chance to increase friendship, but in GSC, every 512 steps is guaranteed to increase the party's friendship. And how about one last fun fact? If you level up a Pokemon in the route they were caught, the friendship points they get will be doubled. Now with all of that, let's see what friendship does in GSC. There is no following Pikachu or gift Pokemon locked behind friendship, but there are now better incentives to increase friendship. First off, there are two moves that are powered by friendship: Return and Frustration. Return increases in power the more friendship your Pokemon has, maxing out at 102 power. Frustration increases in power the less friendship your Pokemon has, also maxing out at 102 power. These two are seen as great moves for any physical attacker. Return is actually my favorite move. I'm so glad that Return is a move I can always teach my Pokemon. Anyways, GSC also introduced Friendship Evolutions. As you can guess, these are Pokemon who evolve by High Friendship. High Friendship was a value of 220 between Gens 2 and 7. For the most part, these Pokemon only need High Friendship to evolve, but some do require an extra condition to evolve. As of Gen 9, there is a total of 20 Friendship Evolutions, and GSC introduced 8 of them, 3 of which are Gen 1 Pokemon who are given pre-evolutions. These Pokemon are Golbat to Crobat, Chansey to Blissey, Eevee to Espeon or Umbreon, Pichu to Pikachu, Cleffa to Clefairy, Igglybuff to Jigglypuff, and Togepi to Togetic. There are more Pokemon who become Friendship Evolutions, but we'll get there when we get there. One last thing Gen 2 introduced was the Friend Ball, a special Pokeball that causes Pokemon to start with 200 friendship, which might help as some Pokemon are harder to raise than others. In Gen 2, all Pokemon had base 70 friendship, but from Gen 3 onwards, other levels of friendship were added. Other friendship levels include base 35 or base 140, along with 120 if the Pokemon hatched from an egg. There's also straight up 0, which most legendaries have. There is also one non-legendary who starts with 0 friendship, but that'll be for later. In fact, why don't we head to Gen 3? Some friendship changing methods are still the same. The only difference is walking takes 255 steps for a 50% chance again, but one thing that was added were the EV decreasing berries, also known as friendship raising berries. These are 6 berries that decrease 10 EVs of a certain stat. They're normally used to optimize Pokemon for competitive, but double as a way to increase friendship. Gen 3 only add 1 friendship evolution, that being Azuro-Tamero. Once again, there's Pokemon who'd become friendship evolutions, but we'll get there when we get there. But the real impact of Gen 3 friendship is 2 new items, the Luxury Ball and the Soothe Bell. These items effectively serve the same purpose. If a Pokemon is caught in the Luxury Ball, they will gain friendship at double the normal rate. The Soothe Bell does the same but as a held item. An important note is that these do not stack with each other, so you can't quadruple your points. Now we move on to My Turf Generation 4. Once again, previous mechanics have basically stayed the same. Walking now only takes 128 steps for a 50% chance of a boost, but a lot of new stuff was added. Making a return from Gen 2 are Groomers, now followed by Massagers, like Gym Leaders, and Elite Four members and the Champion. I know I've only been saying Gym Leaders, but let's be real here. If you're still working on friendship at Victory Road, you got bigger things to worry about. Contests will also increase friendship, but a new friendship producing method was introduced. In Gen 4, Pokemon no longer faint from poison in the overworld. Instead, they would expel the poison once they're left with 1 HP. However, this will reduce their friendship. Now we get to the new friendship evolutions introduced, where not only do we get whole new Pokemon, but just like previous generations, also got pre-evolutions to old Pokemon. The friendship evolutions of Gen 4 are Badoo to Roselia, Baniri to Lopunny, Chingling to Chimecho, Munchlax to Snorlax, and Riolu to Lucario. Gen 4 is the second highest in friendship evolution population with 5 lines. And before we move on to Gen 5, let's address the wholesome rabbit in the room. Remember when I said there is one non-legendary with 0 friendship? Well, that Pokemon is Baniri, probably because they know why most people catch them. But Baniri and Lopunny have an interesting friendship relationship. While Baniri starts with no friendship, Lopunny is one of the few Pokemon with base 140 friendship, the maximum a wild Pokemon can normally have. Lopunny is a true support Pokemon who looks after their friends. But the interesting relationship doesn't stop there. At level 13, Baneri and Lopunny learn particular moves. Frustration for Baneri and Return for Lopunny. Baneri, who starts with 0 friendship, will learn the move that's powered by a lack of friendship. And Lopunny, who starts with 140 friendship, will learn the move that's powered by high friendship. I've talked about this before, and could honestly keep going if I wanted to, but Lopunny is a true, wholesome friend, a support Pokemon who wants to look after their loved ones. And people are freaking Rule 34 my second favorite Pokemon. I'ma say it right now, but unless you spent nearly 2 hours to evolve Baneri, raising Baneri's friendship enough to evolve them before level 13, then you do not get to 34, my favorite normal type. And yes, I've done that in a Sinnoh playthrough, twice. We here at the Instant Danny Boy channel have made a solemn vow to stand against defamatory statements of Lopunny being a and bring forth the enlightenment of genuine Lopunny appreciation. Okay, Gen 5 time. Once again, the friendship methods have largely stayed the same. The walking method is back to 255 steps for a 50% chance, but it did receive a slight buff. Up until your Pokemon has 200 friendship, the walking method will actually increase friendship by 2 points. And Gen 5 add a new friendship increasing method, that being the wings. The wings are another EV boosting method. As for Pokemon, we only got 2 new ones, Woobat to Swoobat and Swadloon to Mommy. Sorry, leave Annie. Yeah, that's kinda all there is for friendship in Gen 5. So how about Gen 6? Gen 6 added 2 new friendship raising methods. First up is the Soothing Bag. I couldn't tell you more because I never used Super Training. Secondly, there's the Juice Shop, which I also couldn't tell you about because I didn't even know it existed. But Gen 6 didn't just add friendship raising methods, it also removed one. From Gen 6 onwards, TMs and HMs no longer raise friendship, which fair enough, right? Gen 5 made it pretty easy to raise friendship with TMs, so it was removed as a method starting with X and Y. Walking takes 128 steps again, so how about friendship evolutions? Well, yes, but actually no, because we'll talk about them later. Because that friendship evolution wasn't a friendship evolution in Gen 6. Between Gen 6 and 7, that Pokemon actually evolved by affection. Affection was often confused with friendship when it was first introduced, and the fact that they are the same now probably doesn't help, but more on that later. Affection had to be increased manually with the Me feature, or Pokemon Refresh in the Alola games. Affection gives various boosts, such as a chance to tough out attacks, boosted experience, boosted crit chance, and more. But now we can head to Gen 7, specifically the Alola games. Once again, affection is still here and different from friendship, but now instead of using Pokemon Ami, it uses Pokemon Refresh. Walking takes 128 steps again, and we get some new friendship raising methods. First up is Isle of You, a feature in Poképelago, and secondly is food stalls from the Festival Plaza. For new friendship evolutions, we only have 2, Alolan Meowth to Alolan Persian, and Type No to Silvally. So hey, look at that! We got our first friendship evolution legendary, but we stay in Gen 7 for a major change that started in, get this, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. And it wasn't the permanent removal of Return and Frustration. These games were the first that combined friendship and affection. Me and Refresh no longer exist, and raising friendship is what gives you the affection boost. Friendship under 180 points do not give any Ami boosts. Friendship between 180 and 219 gives a chance of toughing it out. 220 to 254 adds boosted experience and a chance of removing statuses. And max friendship gives avoiding attacks and boosted crit chance. Also, fun fact, max friendship gives a 10% stat boost and let's go. With that, we can head to Gen 8. Old friendship methods that weren't region exclusive are still here. The new region exclusive method is Pokemon Camp. Playing, breaking up fights, and cooking all help. Now here's an interesting change that started with Sword and Shield. Allegedly at least. In Sword and Shield, friendship can go up to 179 without camping, just before you'll get the Ami boost. Now this could suck since Pokemon need 220 friendship to evolve, but this was apparently changed in Sword and Shield. From Sword and Shield onwards, only 160 points is needed to evolve. Or at least I think. I tried testing this myself with type No and it didn't work. Further research suggests this change is only in Legends Arceus, but if anyone knows better, be sure to comment it down below. But here's another change Sword and Shield introduced. Every Pokemon that had base 70 friendship prior to Gen 8 would now have 50 friendship Sword and Shield onwards. This is probably to balance how easy it is to raise friendship now, but it does suck that Pokemon canonically like us less. Maybe they got annoyed with all the tree complaining we were doing, which is fair enough. Anyways, in LA, chucking Pokemon at objects makes them happy, and things in BDSP are relatively the same as the originals. And remember how Pokemon supposedly evolve with 160 friendship? Well, I tested this again with Baneri and it didn't work. Maybe 160 friendship is Legends Arceus thing? But again, let me know in the comments below. I mean, for all I know, this could have been a glitch that prevented evolution. Wouldn't surprise me with Inbred Diamond and Silly Pearl. Now finally we have the friendship evolutions. With affection now tied to friendship, Sylveon is added to the list of friendship evolutions. Alongside them we have Snom to Frostmoth. But now it's time to end this friendship journey with Scarlet and Violet. Things have largely stayed the same from Sword and Shield. Picnics have taken the place of camps, and there's the Let's Go feature. According to some sources, auto battles will increase friendship, but according to others it doesn't. So just to be safe, I stick with the tried and true methods. Scarlet and Violet didn't add any new friendship evolutions, being the first time this happened, save for the time Sylveon evolved by affection instead of friendship. But there's a new evolution method similar to friendship evolutions. This method involves a Let's Go feature. Certain Pokemon need to walk 1000 steps in the overworld to evolve. This needs to be continuous, and your guess is as good as mine for what counts as a step. And there you have it, folks. Every friendship mechanic in Pokemon, when they were introduced and how they've changed. But you know, it could be hard keeping track of a Pokemon's friendship. I mean, Sinnoh has a Pokédex app for it, but what about the other games? Well, luckily every game since Yellow has had a friendship checker, an NPC who has various phrases depending on your lead's friendship. Their locations are Celadon Mansion in Yellow, a house east of the Goldenrod department store in Johto, alongside the 5th floor of the department store, which is how you get Return and Frustration, a house in Verdant Turf and Pacificlog in Hoenn, Pacificlog Town being where you also get Return Frustration, your rival's house in Powtown in the remaining Kanto games, the Heart Home Fan Club, Route 213, and the Eterna Center in Sinnoh, alongside the aforementioned Pokédex app, the Icarus City Fan Club and a house in Nacrene City in Black and White, along with Bianca Calls in Black 2 White 2, a house in Santoon City in the Vera City Fan Club in Kalos, a female veteran in Konikoni City in Alola, a house in Hammerlock in Galar, and finally a lady in Cascarafa in Paldea. If I miss anything, then let me know in the comments below. Have a nice day, you wonderful people. Mommy, sorry, leave mommy, sorry.